Welcome back everyone. You're watching the training week from July 14th, where the weekly focus was plentiful stoop halves, Gaylord 2s, 3 P-bar sets in 1 week this week, and brought back the beloved Coleman. Highlights: I pretty much had another surplus week. Strength felt good, and I think at the end of the week I put the most I've ever had in a weight vest, 8 kgs if I'm not mistaken, into the Azarian training, and decided to try a backer prize to invert on rings, so we'll see some attempts there. But yeah, surplus week, a lot of high bar this week, a lot of high bar. You're gonna see good, you're gonna see bails, you're gonna see me flinging off and almost knocking myself out. It was quite the eventful week, but nonetheless a great week for releases. Got plenty done. And even though I did do the straight Gaylord 2 in a sequence after the Pagan, I think today is my first attempt at it, and then on Tuesday I ended up catching it. By the end of the week, after trying Coleman, I decided Coleman is easier, and I think the fail you're going to see from Tuesday had something to do with it. It was quite a nasty fail. So we'll get to that shortly, but as you saw, I warmed up P-bar, went to high bar, and then the plan was to one touch routine after the high bar sesh. Feet looking pretty good on that Pagan, probably just a 0.1 separation. And 3 P-bar routines, so I don't know where the energy came from. It's already been 2 or 3 weeks after this, but first time doing 3 P-bar sets in 1 week. Did it on Monday, Tuesday, and then would have been either Friday or Saturday. Through Maras at the end of the week. It was just a massive week. The single handle on pommels is getting better, even though I have to circle on bent elbows. If you look at every time I'm in rear support there, my right arm is always bent, but I'm finding myself getting more and more single pommel circles in a row, not only down low but also up high. So here's the one touch, and besides dismount, I'm still recovering from that knee subluxation from takeoff on a single flare fam. So besides not doing a dismount, this was probably the cleanest routine in this whole build-up. The Peach 1 didn't have any major movements, kept it pretty still. No extra hand placements. You can tell there my hands are crooked, but did not take any hand placements before the Healy. I think this may have been the only extra hand placement, somewhere around here, that 1-2 there, so that could easily be a 1 and a 1, but boom. Took a 1 hand placement, but for the first time actually caught the giant Diami in a handstand in a routine, and yes baby, I was stoked about it. I was stoked. That's the first time in the build up I've caught that thing in a handstand during a set. And speaking of, I probably had the turns of my life on P-bar today, on Tuesday. I forget exactly how I structured the session, if I did the warm-up and then a one touch later. I have a feeling I just did everything all together, could be wrong. So I went peach, 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 and then to my surprise I managed to check it out, fam. 1, 2, like what? How, where, why, I don't know, but I managed it. And then right after that, 1, 2, and notice they're all pretty darn stable. 3, 4. Man, if we're talking skill training, this has probably got to be the most productive skill training P-bar session of my life. Like, let's face it, no questions. My immediate thought after that, after doing the peach and then giant DME 3 times, was, man, even doing that third giant DME, like, it's harder to do it in a routine, which validates my thought that I have to do more routines. And now I'm reminded that's probably why I did the 3 routines this week, because I figured that if the giant DME is going more or less fine by itself, but the problem is in the routine, then you got to do more routines. And especially if I'm doing it as a 6th skill there after those peaches, peach, DME, and it still feels easier than the set, then that's obviously the set is where it's at. Got to train more full routines. So pretty nice sequence. Did not go for the piked Gaylord, but pretty good chunk. So I asked Will to slide because I wanted to do the piked Gaylord, and I'll let you see for yourself. Crispy clean this week, fam. And boom, whack. So my temple, that side of your head, which is extremely prone to getting KO'd, went straight into my arm, straight into my shoulder. Luckily, shoulder's more or less soft, but the shock was substantial enough to keep me down for a moment. So placement was pretty good, but it's difficult to catch it when you're flipping so fast. When you do it tucked, you can kick out and stall the rotation. But when you're laid out, unless you stall, lol sticky, unless you stall the flip from the beginning, you're gonna flip really fast into the bar at the end. And that makes the catch just awkward because you have the bar but your body's still flipping faster than you want it to. So even there you can tell quite clearly that like the catch was clean, but it just feels a bit dangerous, and I think that's one of the reasons. See, it's like my body, can you tell my body's just flipping too much for a nice smooth swing out. So after that I thought I'd revisit the Coleman, and now we're doing the one touch again, just like Monday. So yeah, definitely had like a pretty big head ouchie after that. Managed to still finish the session, but man, that was a solid whack to the temple. So second day in a row of doing a full set. Not something that I train, nor have I actually done that since this week. I think after this week I should have taken it light, but I did not. Wasn't really counting my weeks and just continued training out of the thrill and excitement of trying to upgrade this high bar routine. And ended up kind of gassing out. But besides my knee, everything's going pretty well. Getting through closer and closer of a full pommel routine. This week I wasn't doing any scissors just because it's kind of sore to smack the leg on the pommel doing scissor handstands. But look at that, 2 days, 2 routines, no dismount. But that giant DME shot over a bit, but I didn't lose my line too bad. There wasn't too much of a squiggle in my back. So all in all, still a positive routine, even going 2 days in a row. Yeah, when you get to my age, fam, routines 2 days in a row, it hits different. I remember there once was a time where you can do routines 5 days in a row, no problem. But also my routines are a bit harder than they were back then. But fam, I'm doing 6 EPs. Minus floor and vault right now, I'm doing 6 EPs, and Auckland Champs from where I sit now is less than 2 weeks away. And I'm getting these thoughts in the back of my head, should I just try all around? It's a home comp. I can just do easy routines on the other apparatus. Let's call it this way. If I get, say, I don't know, I usually get like 1 or 2 comments a video. Let's say if I get, we'll go big. If I get 20 people in the comments telling me to do all round, if my bod is okay, I'm not even gonna say good, if my body is okay, I'll send all round day 1 at Auckland Champs. Hold up, let's make it harder. We need 20 comments saying do all round or something along those lines, and then let's go for, I don't know, how many thumbs up do I usually get? Let's go for like, what do we go, 50? 100's probably too many. I only get 200 views, lol. Well, let's go for 50. Let's go for 50 thumbs up and 10 comments saying go for the all round, and I will do everything in my power to do all round at Auckland Manukau. I don't know what routines exactly I'll do, but we'll have to think of something. So day 1 back to Coleman after I don't even know how long. Probably could have caught these couple, but just testing the waters, learning to look in the right spot again. And that was enough for me to catch the first 2 the following day. And after I did so, I was convinced that Coleman's going to be the way to go. Still could go a bit deeper on that tap. Depth is okay, but could be deeper. You know, or we could play things the other way around and you tell me 10 comments, don't do all round, you idiot. Preserve yourself and get ready for P-bar and high bar for world champs. And then maybe we'll swing it that way. But that's the deal. 10 comments of whatever. If I get more negatives, then you know what? I won't do it. Maybe I'll send a casino on high bar instead. I won't send a casino on high bar. Not yet, anyway. Only 0.2 difference between Casino and Coleman. So on Thursday I was pretty smashed after the big Tuesday session, and I kind of wanted to see if I can get more over to the left on those giant diamies, but after those first couple it became very evident that I am still needing some recovery. But Friday, fam, look at that, surplus, catching nice and high. Legs were not too bad, but Coleman 97 was the following one. The music, the vibe, the whole thing, I think this has got to be one of my all-time favorites so far. We got 3 to go. I'm gonna do my best to make sure that they're special ones. I even did it in a sequence. The kick out on that piked Gaylord was money, but the stoop was not. Got a bit stuck there. Look at this form, fam. Probably a 1 on the knees there, but ooh la la, man. Yeah, I could watch that all day. And in the end, that's why I train. That's why I suffer and go through all this fear and adrenaline, and that's why. Because then when you see it after the fact, it's so rewarding. The reward is worth the effort. And it doesn't get much further than that on that pagan. That was pretty much a one-handed catch. I actually remember that. Oh, another whiplash, fam. Looks like I stood up right away, but man, twice in 1 week. Fam, look at that. You know, it's getting better. Looks like we're increasing in quality. Looking at this week, the quality of movement, the precision is increasing. So usually what happens after that is the next week is going to be horrible. That's how it works, right? You have a really good week and then you have a dip. You have a high and you have a low. But to be honest, I can't even remember how things played out the following week. We're 2 weeks back. Tried to do 2 videos last week but did not. By the way, I finally made my dream high bar combo on Gym High Bar. It took me longer to make this combo than it took to catch a Pagan Coleman in real life. So we're probably going to do what will be likely my final Gym High Bar video. It's going to be a long one, a compilation of all the fun combos and tricks I've done. Oh man, where is this precision coming from, fam? Maybe from the 4 in a row that I did on Tuesday. I think just right here So I don't know, what is that, a 3 or a 5? I don't know what happens if you straddle like that. But another nice handstand. Another nice handstand in the Giant Diami. 3 sets. 3 sets in 1 week, and quality sets as well, not just like a getting through it. I mean, besides that legs apart on the Peach, it wasn't just get through it sets, it was quality sets. So I'm super happy about that week. Pretty sure I started double pikes the following week, but as most of you know, I do like to do layouts overcooked to my back. Feel like it makes me swing just a little bit longer, and I like this drill. I prefer it over the, you know, stack mats back to your back or back pike to your back drills. Feel like a layout to my back, even on the lower mat, gets me to swing through for longer. One thing we've talked about is the difficulty between doing a similar type of release. Oi, oh, look at that speed. Similar type of release with different powers. Tuck Gaylord 2, layout Gaylord 2. You have to put in a lot more juice into the layout Gaylord 2, and because of that, you have to start the tap earlier. You have to start arching earlier. So then the next day you go back to tucked G2, and it's a little bit confusing, a little bit disorientating to go back to a gentler tap. And this is the same predicament I'm in with Pagan and piked Gaylord. Couple of Marises. I was a bit gassed from the week, so still touched the bar there, but really I shouldn't be doing like all that so close to a competition. But you know, I thought, well, why not? Had a good week, let's do some cents. Yeah, so Pagan and Pike Gaylord is in a similar boat. I'm going pretty much like 90 to 95% on Pagan. Maris is like 100, but Pike Gaylord is more of like a 60%, 60-70% in the Giants. So, you know, you can imagine like you go a set of 60-70, and then you do a Pagan at, you know, 90%, and then going back to the 60-70, it's like your muscles activate harder than you want them to. Even though you know you got to be gentle, sometimes it's hard to control. It's like doing, I don't know, a front 2.5 on tramp and then a front 1.5. Some people, they can find it. Man, how many was that? I didn't count, but that looked like a lot. Yeah, so it's like going from a, I don't know, front 2.5 to a front 1.5, or maybe a triple twist in double back to a full twist in double back. You're gonna very likely start the full twist earlier than you usually do if it were the case that you started with full twist. If you get my drift. That's the hard part on high bar with doing releases of the same category that require a different tap. Of course you can just do the same tap, but controlling a 90% tap is quite hard. So it's you win some, you lose some, you know. Done. Dunzos, no more horse. Depleted. Out of gas. But still, fam, little timer there. Second turn, I think I went a little bit more cleaner, and third one, caught it. Now, in no way is this paid. You're rising, I'm like halfway down, pretty much like halfway down. So this is not even close to being a paid inverted cross. And I used to do it from a front uprise, but this is my first time ever catching it from a back uprise. You know what? That's probably a little bit lower than halfway. Not paid, but that was really kind of, it was good positive reinforcement. Finished off with some of the heaviest weight vests I've done, and that's how the week played out, fam. Massive week, almost a 20-minute video. This must have been an 8 kg because that looked like a struggle. And we have a world clip of the week today, fam. World clip of the week today is our very own Yanku, who aborted mission on a cars and did the funniest side summy that I've ever seen. Not even pushing off the vault, fam. Just there you have it. Thanks for watching. All the best till next time. Massive thank you and shout out to all patrons.